6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here's the news edited by Dulwin Samarasinghe and read by Ramesh Perez. First, the headlines. The President says that old economic model cannot be used now. The Supreme Court recommends further streamlining of fuel distribution. Malaysia monitors Sri Lankans arriving under visit visas. The practical examination of the GCE Advanced Level 2021 will be conducted this month. In foreign news, China restarts drills as Pelosi vows Taiwan will not be isolated. In sports cricket, Sri Lanka Cricket Invitational T20 League will commence from Monday. And now the local news in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that old economic model cannot be used now. He said attention should be paid soon on global changes, thinking new. The president mentioned this while delivering the keynote address at the launch of the research reports on the Sri Lanka's economic reforms and the expert dialogue at the BMICH this morning. It has been organized by the Advocata Institute under the theme Let's Reset Sri Lanka, which will be held tomorrow as well. Speaking further, the president said that proposals of the International Monetary Fund have to be implemented to overcome the economic crisis faced by the country. He said the country has to face difficulties during the next 6 months, and the IMF has accepted that attention should be paid on the communities mostly affected by the crisis. He said that the country should pay attention on foreign debt, but should move without getting caught in geopolitics in the Asian region. The president said that country's future cannot be reorganized without developing the economy. He pointed out that the first task is to stabilize the economy, through which social stability could be achieved. President Wickremesinghe said a competitive economy, which pay higher salaries and production capacity, should be created. He added that trade relations should be built up with Asian countries with large and growing market. National Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force says an increasing number of Sri Lankans are arriving in Malaysia under visit visas with the belief that these visas could be converted to working visas. It said Malaysian immigration authorities are taking stringent measures to scrutinize visit visa holders. According to the task force, approximately 20 Sri Lankans per week who have been denied entry by the local authorities are reportedly being deported directly from the airport back to Sri Lanka. National Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force of Sri Lanka advised the Sri Lankan citizens that visit visas to Malaysia cannot be converted into work visa upon arrival. The task force requested the general public to verify such opportunities received by them with the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment prior to proceeding. The Commissioner General of Examinations has decided to conduct the practical examination of the GCE Advanced Level 2021 for the candidates who have sat for the written examination. They should submit their requests before Wednesday. It has been planned to conduct the practical examination this month itself. Candidates can make requests by sending their index number, subject and the telephone number to WhatsApp number 0718 156 717 or sending an email message to slexamsseo@gmail.com. The Ministry of Education says all government and government-approved private schools will continue to function during regular hours for 3 days per week from August 8th to 12th. As this month's full moon Poya Day falls on Thursday, the Education Ministry has decided that schools deliver classroom lessons on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Home-based learning activities or online teaching will be provided on Thursday and Friday. In schools where students and teachers are not severely affected by transport facilities, classroom lessons can be delivered on Friday as well, at the discretion of the school principal, teachers and zonal director of education. In view of the prevailing situation, a flexible timetable can be followed so that every teacher is able to come to the school for at least 3 days to deliver classroom lessons. The Attorney General has given an undertaking to the Court of Appeal that no action outside legal procedures will be taken against the temporary structures at the protest site at Golfies until Wednesday. Additional Solicitor General Sumati Dharmawardana told the Appeals Court, appearing on behalf of the Attorney General, that the Inspector General of Police will be given necessary directives in this regard. However, the Appeals Court said during this period, the respondents are allowed to take initial legal actions regarding the removal of these illegal structures. The court said this undertaking will not be a hindrance to the occupants at the protest site who are willingly vacating the premises. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. Police warned people not to park their motorbikes insecurely as there is a tendency of stealing number plates by organized criminals. They said it was observed that stolen motorbike number plates were used for several murders taken place recently. Police advised people to be mindful when they park vehicles and motorbikes by the roadside and other places, especially at night. Chairman of Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Janaka Ratnayaka, says there will be no rolling power cuts over this weekend. Meanwhile, the power cut duration has been reduced to 1 hour today. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed today 4 COVID-related deaths which occurred yesterday. Government Information Department said among the deceased were 1 male between ages of 30 and 59 years, 1 male and 2 females in the age of 60 years and above. Railway Department said night mail trains operating between Colombo Fort and Badula have been suspended today due to bad weather. Accordingly, the train scheduled to leave from Badula from Colombo Fort at 8:30 p.m. and the train scheduled to leave from Colombo Fort from Badula at 5:45 p.m. have been suspended. And that ends local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
On to the main news story. The Supreme Court declared today distribution of fuel should be further streamlined through the Sri Lanka Transport Board. This was mentioned when 2 fundamental rights petitions filed over the country's economic crisis were called before the Supreme Court this morning. The FR petitions were filed by the Bar Association of Sri Lanka seeking a court order directing the government to provide short and long-term solutions to provide uninterrupted supply of fuel, electricity, food, medicines and other essentials. The Supreme Court ordered the Bar Association to submit an affidavit to the court containing additional proposals to solve the crisis situation. Further consideration of the 2 fundamental rights petitions has been fixed for August 31st. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
In Watchlight this evening, Organization of Professionals will host the 35th Annual Conference and the 3rd National Awards of the Organization of Professional Associations of Sri Lanka on August 16, 2022. It will be held at the Cinnamon Lakeside Hotel, Colombo, under the theme Expanding Horizons for Effective Economic Growth and Good Governance. Technical sessions will be held on August 17th. And that came to you in Watchlight. A bulletin of world news is next.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to the world news bulletin, first the headlines. China restarts drills as Pelosi vows Taiwan will not be isolated. Japan refutes China's claim regarding Japan's exclusive economic zone. The UK says Russia is undermining safety of Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. Now the world news in detail. Chinese planes and ships have again crossed the median line in the strait between the mainland and Taiwan. It comes as China holds its second day of military drills around the island, Beijing's main response to Nancy Pelosi's visit. Japan has demanded China cease the drills, while U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken called them an unjustified escalation. The Japanese government has refuted China's claim that Japan was not included in the areas where Beijing held military drills yesterday. Japan reported that 5 of the ballistic missiles fired by China during its military drills fell inside Japan's exclusive economic zone. China responded saying China and Japan have not carried out maritime delimitation in the relevant waters, so there is no such thing as China's military actions being held or entering Japan's exclusive economic zone. The UK's defense ministry says Russian forces at Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant have likely undermined the security and safety of the plant's operations. Europe's largest nuclear plant has been under Russian control since March, but is still operational. The UK Defence Ministry says Russian troops are probably using the plant as a shield to deter Ukrainian attacks. The UN nuclear watchdog has warned the plant is completely out of control. Back to the headlines of the world news. China restarts drills as Pelosi vows Taiwan will not be isolated. Japan refutes China's claim regarding Japan's exclusive economic zone. And UK says Russia is undermining safety of Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. That concludes world news. Moving on to development news. Locally manufactured trailers were exported to Australia from Hambantota International Port on the vessel Atlas Leader, which called at the southern port last week. The manufacturer, Dutch Lanka Trailers, has moved towards using this form of shipping for their trailer, which is proving to be more cost-effective. This is the third shipment facilitated by Hambantota International Port for Dutch Lanka Trailers to date. And that was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Moving on to sports news, first Commonwealth Games. Netmi Ahimsa qualified for the semi-finals of the women's under 57 kilogram wrestling event today at the Commonwealth Games. She was declared the uncontested winner in the quarterfinals with Cameroon's Joseph Emily. Meanwhile, Kalinga Kumara will compete in 400 meter at 1:50 a.m. tomorrow and Nilani Ratnayaka at 2:12 a.m. In cricket news, the public will be allowed to witness the SLC Invitational T20 League, which will commence from August 8th at the R. Premadasa International Cricket Stadium, Colombo. CEO Ashley De Silva said entry for the matches will be free of charge. The 4 teams competition, which will be contested between the Reds, Greens, Blues and Greys, will be focused on preparing the national team for the upcoming T20 Asia Cup and the ICC Men's T20 Cup World Cup. The final is set to be played on August 15th. In rugby news, the cream of Sri Lanka schoolboy rugby will be on display when the Inter-Schools Under-28 Division League Rugby Tournament Super Round stage begins tomorrow. The defending champions Royal College will take on Wesley College in the opening fixture tomorrow at London Place, while former champions Isipatana College will face St. Joseph's College at Havelock Park on Sunday. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, Gunawardena Tea Factory, situated in Akurasa, has been successful in obtaining yet another all-time record price of 2,050 rupees per kilogram on a BM grade in the off-grade category. It was sold at an e-auction held on August 2nd and 3rd, breaking its own latest record prices of 1,900 rupees for the same grade. Gunawardena Tea Factory is renowned for manufacturing high-quality, award-winning teas. And that came to you in business news.
Business news sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
Moving on to economic news, the Colombo Port City said that out of the 34 marketable land plots granted on a 99-year lease basis, 6 plots were released back to the Commission. Colombo Port City Economic Commission has granted 6 fresh leases for a 99-year period to the investors, valued at around $200 million. The investors have projected a collective investment commitment of $600 million. And that was economic news. The weather report is next. And finally, moving on to the weather report. The Met Department says showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and in the Gond and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy rainfalls, above 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the Sabaragama province and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Several spells of showers may occur in the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces. Strong winds about 50 kilometers per hour can be expected at times along the western slopes of the central hills and in the northern, north-central and northwestern provinces. And that was the weather report. And to end this news broadcast, a recap of the main news headlines. The President says that old economic model cannot be used now. The Supreme Court recommends further streamlining of fuel distribution. Malaysia monitors Sri Lankans arriving under visit visas. The practical examination of the GCE Advanced Level 2021 will be conducted this month. In news overseas, China restarts drills as Pelosi vows Taiwan will not be isolated. In sports, it's cricket. Sri Lanka Cricket Invitational T20 League will commence from Monday. And with that, we conclude this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.